Hi everyone, it's Justin Dawson and we're back with another product review. This time, OBSBOT have sent me over something really cool. The OBSBOT Tail Air cameras. Hold it up to camera there. This is the box. They sent me over 3 of these to test out and we put them through a rigorous test. Let's have a look at what the OBSBOT Tail Airs do. This is their official website. It's an AI-powered 4K PTZ streaming camera and mastermind of auto tracking and ultra high definition of 4K resolution. At the moment, I'm putting through the Rodecaster video, which only outputs at 1080p. So please keep that in mind for the rest of this video. The OBSBOT Tail Air comes with a powerful multicam setup, NDI HX3, smart remote controller. OBSBOT were good enough to send me over one of them to test out as well, and it has the tiniest 4K PTZ camera. Is now on air. So what we did is myself and my colleague Patrick Doyle, along with John David Dalmero, a PhD scholar, we all went into the podcast studio on campus and put these to the test. Check this out. So OBSBOT sent us over 3 Tail Airs, also the connections for the NDI connectivity. So we'll be showing you NDI later on in the video, and also their little magical remote. This little magical remote allows you to control 3 cameras at the same time. These are trackable cameras, so you can actually adjust it with the gimbal and have Bluetooth connectivity to the 3 cameras. So we are in a studio environment. This is our usual podcasting studio setup where we have Elgato prompters going on and also the Elgato cameras. We have set up the Tailbot Airs instead, and going into the Rodecaster video that we can do switching later on in the program. So we also have just recently pressed the record button. It is tracking me on one of the cameras at the moment, and then we have a camera on a tripod as well. So it's giving the idea of, well, if this was a podcast studio or if this was a studio of this size and capacity, what you could actually do with the Tailbot. So we're going to switch from here. This is my Sony ZV-1 camera that Patrick is holding at the moment. I'm going to switch over to the OBSBOTs. Going into the Rodecaster video. Now, it is outputting, again, at 1080p, not 4K, but it does give you the impression of what can be achieved with just 3 of these Tail Air cameras. Action Jackson, we're back again. So, hello everyone. I'm looking at this camera. I'm trying to figure out which camera I'm looking at. We have set up the OBSBOT Tail Airs in the studio here. So, to give you a bit of an example here, this is myself on one of the Tail Airs, and if I'm using the Rodecaster video. Now, to remind everyone, the Rodecaster video outputs at 1080p. The Tail Air cameras outputs at 4K. Okay, just so you're aware of that. Over on camera 2 is Patrick. Hello, Patrick.
Hello, everyone.
Turn on your mic.
I turn on my mic. Here you go. And look what I have here. I have
the OBSBOT remote control.
And this can control the 3 cameras that we have in this room. And at the moment, it's tracking me.
Yeah, as you walk around the room. Now, I love that. I love the fact, and like the fact is, the actual remote will actually allow you to have 3 cameras that we have set up and presets as well. Going into it, show the presets as well. Right?
We have 3 presets at the top. So the green button is to choose the camera, and above them are preset 1, 2, and 3. But at the moment, I'm not using presets because I've used the auto tracking feature. So that means it will walk and follow me. If I wanted to go wide, I do a gesture.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a gesture and wide. If I want to bring it back in for a zoom, there you go. Captured me back.
We're still getting used to the gesture controls. On camera 3, it's John David. Hello, John David.
Hi there, everyone. Hello.
We feel like we're a lot more professional on this approach this time. We had some audio issues the last time, and that was just purely our own fault going into the Rodecaster. So we have the 3 cameras now. So we can switch over. Oh, there's Patrick
me.
again. There's Patrick, and there's myself as well. The live streaming market is expected to go up to $4.26 billion during the forecast period of 21 to 28. 9.1 million active streamers in 2021 across major platforms like Twitch and YouTube. These OBSBOTs, they have a full app as well. Patrick, you played around with the app. I'm going to switch over to Patrick. Patrick, you played around with the app.
Yes, the app at the beginning, it was a little bit of a learning curve, but at the very end, we used it in a educational conference, and we were losing people because it was hooking on to the tracking was hooking on to different people. But then I found out near the end that all you had to do was tap to stop tracking, and then when someone walked into the screen, tap to track again. So it's pretty okay. There's a lot that's there in the software. You can set up I think it's AI scenes, and so it gives you a wide shot, a medium shot, and close up as well. And you can go in as almost like a director and choose within the app which shots to select from the single camera.
Do you know what I love about this is the fact that, these cameras, they're so small, yet it packs such a punch with the tracking, with the fact that it does 4K, 4K at 4K 30, I believe. I'll double check on those on the notes, and the fact that we are in a studio of 3 different locations. John David, and you're on the other side of the room here.
Yeah, and if I stand up, it'll follow me around the place as well.
Now, at the moment, John David is literally walking behind another camera. If you walked in front of, let's say, Patrick's camera there, just for a bit of fun there, okay. It's still tracking. Is it going to track?
Is it going to track me, or is it going to?
It's tracking, Patrick. It's doing the right job. It is doing the right job.
If you are a bit fast, if someone moves fast through the frame, it might pick up on them. So it's good to have some blocking as well within any of your recording setups.
The OBSBOT Tail Air is designed for live streaming and recording from anywhere. With its incredible compatibility and support features, it seamlessly collaborates with a wide range of mainstream broadcasting devices, making it easier for users to achieve multi-camera live streaming. 4K resolution, AI auto tracking, NDI support. That's something that I have to show you. That's in the box as well. These are little adapters. They are USB-C to Ethernet connectivity to give you NDI support. You do have to buy an NDI license. I'm going to put that on as an overlay of how much the NDI license is. But there is the little adapters, USB-C. At the moment, we have USB-C to HDMI connections into the Rodecaster video, just to give us this option to do this auto switching feature. 4K resolution and low light conditions for detailed footage, AI auto tracking, AI director grids. You played around, Patrick, with the AI director grids as well. The fact that you can actually track pets as well.
Oh yes, there's an option, and what's great about this little controller is that above the presets, let me see, it's going to go to me as well. Let me see, here we go. Above the presets, there are options for tracking humans and tracking animals and pets.
Yes, just in case you mistake Patrick for a pet, he's not a pet.
Too slow.
Too slow. With 1 to 1.8 Starlight CMOS OBSBOT Tail Air supports 4K 30 frames per second and 1080 60 frames per second for high quality images. Designed with 8 prime lens and f1.8 aperture, OBSBOT Tail Air is able to gather more light, bring brighter frames, finer details, and less noise in low light conditions. AI capabilities that we have actually shown you, and the grid support, I'm going to do that as an overlay in this video. NDI support and low latency. NDI HX3 has become the NDI format of choice for the vast majority of users in live events, live video production, conference production, remote production, and streaming applications. With support for NDI HX3, OBSBOT Air makes it to enjoy higher quality and low latency live streaming experience via Wi-Fi and Ethernet. And that's a key point, because at the moment we have these devices, John David, on battery power, and it's you know, we have one at the moment just like sitting on a chair, believe it or not. The fact that the cameras, like once you charge, it only takes 90 minutes to charge, and then it lasts nearly 2.5 hours on each of these cameras.
Yes, it does. But I would, if you're doing any events, I would make sure that it does power from a power bank or from the mains. So I would go that method as well. But what's great about them is that if you do have a power bank, you can hook it up with this small device and it isn't obtrusive. So people won't fall over your camera. The tracking means that you don't have to actually have someone directing. But even then, well, the software is so good that you can use the software to switch shots on the fly as well.
The lovely thing about the actual app itself is that you can do live streaming to nearly every social media platform available: Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or X now, OBS, Vimeo live stream, Ecamm, LinkedIn, XSplit, Restream, and RTMP. It does the whole lot. The gesture controls, I'm just going to put the gesture controls as an overlay on this video because we are still getting used to the gesture controls. Even Patrick is just having fun standing up, trying to do near and far away.
Let me see. I have too many things in my hand. There you
there
go.
we go. There we go.
And so it can be set in settings as well. You can set it to automatically zoom in and out as well for you. And this is, I think that's what it does. It kind of sees you move, kind of lets you walk out. In podiums, in presentations, in conferences, it's pretty good because a lot of people walk around as they talk when they're presenting, and we can frame this so that it will just move and keep it in frame, which is brilliant for us because it works well with our video switcher, so we can not worry about having to track the person all the time. Our little OBSBOT does all the work.
It does really do all the work. Now, of course, like we could bring these in. These could be used simply as a webcam capability on USB-C, but we have converted USB-C to HDMI to use it on the video mixer. In comparison to other devices, at $499, that's $499. You know, you have the Sony ZV-1 without the lens. That rates at $750 at least. The Bird Dog camera, €8,400. Like, yes, it does have larger dimensions, pretty much similar weight. The Bird Dog has NDI support, but the fact that this OBSBOT has NDI support at HX3 is a massive, massive game changer.
I concur.
Oh, you concur? John David, do you play around with NDI?
No, not much in particular, really. This is my first time kind of learning about this stuff as well.
Okay, well, the nice thing is that we can, in our university capacity, we could put this on to the Ethernet connections and be able to put them in different scenarios in different rooms across our, at the moment, the podcast studio, but we're thinking about, like, even if we use this in a medical environment, we could have these small little cameras, like they are very tiny cameras across clinical skills labs, Patrick.
Yeah, it would be, I think they'd be brilliant in the skills lab for skills training. And the fact that we can use either the remote or while we're there, just train our staff to use gestures, and we could have multiple cameras showing different parts of the skills training, which would be great. At the moment, it costs a lot. The cameras are fixed and you have to program them to use the point, tilt, and zoom. But there's no gestures usually in the even the larger ones that we have. So what this can do revolutionizes what can be taught in the skills.
Well, let's just give you a bit of the lowdown on the camera. Like it's a f1.8 CMOS image sensor. It has 8.4 million effective pixels. The actual lens is an 8 optical lens, 4x digital zoom, ISO range of 100 to 6400, and it has autofocus and manual focus, aperture of 1.8, as I mentioned, white balance of 2000 Kelvin to 10,000 Kelvin, and 6-axis gyroscope. It can photo resolution in 4K and 1080p, video resolution in 4K 30, 25 and 24 frames per second, and 1080 in all the different stages of frames per second from 60 down to 24. It records in H.264 and H.265 video formats and JPEG. It does have built-in microphones, and something that we switched off. Well, as we learned the first time round, that we were giving ourselves an echo into our video mixer, weren't we? But we have now fixed that problem.
But it's good to have the microphone so you can record onto the devices and then edit them later on, or stream them, in fact, which is a good thing if you just have your cameras on your own and an iPad or an iPhone or an Android phone. You can use it as a little studio to stream and broadcast.
And of course, we have the AAC and PCM audio formats there. And the Wi-Fi frequency, all good on the Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth capability, USB charger. And actually, I'm going to give John David this role. We'll pass it over from Patrick. Is going to pass it over as a little present to John David. The little pouch that the whole OBSBOT comes in. It's like these cameras are so portable that can be used in any situation. And I'm going to put the camera on John David.
You can there's a laser option on this remote. So if you are demonstrating a product,
fire the laser.
You can fire the laser at the product and it will zoom into it. So that's for experts in the field. We are just learning at the moment.
We are experts in the field. We are learning the fun of like putting these OBSBOTs into the video mixer here at the moment and just see. So back to John David with its pouch demonstration. Hold on, John David. There you go.
Yeah, so this is the pouch that the camera comes in. It's this nice hard shell pouch where it can store both the camera and all the accessories and cables that would be necessary for its use. So once you close it, it's very quick and easily portable.
I think that I really love the size of these cameras. Like it packs such a punch for what's available for the camera itself. Both NDI, USB-C, HDMI if you buy an adapter. You can also do it over Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Patrick?
Yes, you can zoom in. Dramatic zoom.
Dramatic. Near and far away.
So they're great, I must admit. And the HDMI signal coming out is very good. That's one of the big things that you want from these cameras is a good high-res, uncompressed HDMI signal coming out, so that when we use it in a switcher, we use it in other devices, that it comes in clean, and where you want that, that's what you really want.
I'm just going to switch over to this camera. Well, we just showed you in the corner here. Like, this is a podcast studio, which also is used across our university for doing video productions, green screen, and that's why you see a bit of a grey background. You can see me sort of doubled or tripled up here at the moment because I just have the OBSBOT sitting on the table. I could position it on a tripod or mounted, but if I switch over to John David, like, you will see that behind John David, if you want to walk along there, John David, you will see that to the other side is a more expensive camera that we usually use in studio, but we could really minimize it and cost effective with the OBSBOTs here at the moment, Patrick. Like, this is a solution that we could use both for podcasting, live events, the medical field as well.
Yeah, and if you notice that camera with John David, it has to move. You have to physically move it to put it into place, and the OBSBOT doesn't need to do that. Yeah. So if you look over here, you have to physically unhook that and loosen this, move it across, and there's part of the movement. Now, the OBSBOT has it so that you don't really need to worry about that. You can place it in one place. And as well, we have a massive camera in here.
You've been walking along there, and we've done a full demonstration without having to, like, there's no cameraman involved here, guys. We're using tracking on the OBSBOT at the moment.
And the good thing is that the tracking is inbuilt. So all of the AI tracking is within the camera. So there's none of this going off to the internet to find and to stream and to try and use it on the fly or using data. It's there when you update. I'm sure the AI updates with firmware as well. So with firmware updates. So the great thing is that it's in the device and it works each
Like,
time.
the beautiful thing, Patrick, is like we have the remote now, and we could use these in live events. And if we have a panel discussion, you can have multi-angle panel discussions, and simply with the beauty of that small little remote that you have in your hand.
Yeah, especially, and that's when the battery comes in handy, because then we can place them in any situation. We can say to the organizers, if they say, oh, I want 4 people over here, instead of us saying, no, the camera's here, you can't move, stay there. We can go, no problem, bring our small mobile OBSBOT right in front of the discussion panel attendees, and then off it goes. It'll capture, and because we have it set up, we can choose that camera and use the remote or use the app to decide what angles we need to choose.
One thing that we are doing at the moment is that we are recording right into the Rodecaster video and into a hard drive. But each one of these devices, the OBSBOTs, has a micro SD slot that can hold up to 512 gigabytes. Plenty of space if you're recording in 1080p. Bit less space if you're recording in 4K, but that is the options up to you. We're going to leave it there. I'm going to say, let Patrick say goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. We did this properly this time. John David.
See you, everyone. Take care.
Hope you enjoyed this program. Thanks to OBSBOT for letting me test out these cameras. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments box below on YouTube, and I'll get back to you. Please check out obsbot.com for more information. Like, subscribe, and share. All the details is on the screen. For me, Justin Dawson, thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.